I just want to take you through the journey, and I want to share something with you that I've done, the mystery of the loaves and the fish. Now, you see, when you read in the book of Matthew chapter 14 and you read in the book of John chapter 6, the Bible account of the miracle of the loaves and the fishes, where Jesus fed many people. Now, you see, when you look at the Greek Bible, that's the New Testament, in the book of John chapter 6, the Greek word that was used for bread is the word called artos. Now, that word artos figuratively means divine provision. Okay, so when God gave them the bread, when Jesus gave them the bread, it was also carrying a picture of divine provision. Okay, now, but I want us to go deeper so that we will understand the mystery behind it. Now, for us to do so, let's look at it from the Hebrew Bible. Now, you see, when you look at the Hebrew Bible, which is the Old Testament, you realize that the word that was used, the Greek word, the artos, which is bread, the Hebrew word is lechem. Now, the word lechem consists of 3 Hebrew alphabet, biblical Hebrew alphabet. Now, the first one is the Hebrew alphabet called Lamed. Now, the Lamed has a picture of a rod, and it also has a numerical value of 30. Now, the second one is the alphabet called Hat. Now, that alphabet Hat has a numerical value of 8, and it also has a symbol of a wall. Now, the last one is Mem. Now, the Mem has a symbol of water, and it also has a numerical value of 40. Why am I mentioning these in alphabetical order? Now, the reason why I'm trying to do that, for us to establish a mystery that was in the Bible. Now, coming back to what I've said, now you see, when you look at the Lamed, which has a picture of rod, when you read in the book of Numbers chapter 17 and Numbers 18, now the Bible says that God spoke to Moses for Moses to speak to the children of Israel. And the Bible said that he spoke to them and said the 12th tribe, they were supposed to bring a rod from their father's house. So 12 rod was gathered, and the Bible said that it was placed in the temple. And by virtue of that, the Bible said that the next day when they came, it was only Aaron's rod that has budded. Now, when you come to the 18 says that for this reason, the household of Aaron and his children were called to the office of the priesthood. They were called to the office of the priesthood. Now, here Jesus was speaking to them, but I want us to see. So, one, take note. If you have a note, write the office of the priesthood. Now, the second mystery is that it has. The second mystery that I want us to take note is the alphabet Het. Now, you see, the alphabet Het has a picture of a wall. Now, wall, and it is also the first alphabet that starts with the Hebrew word for grace, with the Hagn. Now, that word can also mean consecration or to be separated. Okay, so take note. So write in your note consecration in there. Now, the last one is the alphabet Mem. Now, that alphabet has a picture of a water. Now, let's go back to creation. Now, you see, when you read in the book of Genesis chapter 1, the Bible says that, and the Spirit of God was upon the face of the water, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. Now, we see God in action, in function of creation, by first dividing and separating the waters. In another sense, everything that was unveiled was in the womb of the water. So the water has a pictorial picture or a figurative meaning of a womb, that it has the ability to conceive and the ability to give birth or to unveil. Are you getting it? So take note, conception and birthing. Okay. Now let's look at each numerical value. The numerical values that I've mentioned, the Lamed 30, the Het 8, the Mem 40. When you add these together as a summation of the alphabet, which forms Lechem, you have the sum of 78. Now, that 78 has a correlation to many Hebrew words, okay? But for the purpose of my context, the words that best fit what I'm trying to minister or speak is the word halam and halem. Halam, halam. Now, the word halam is a Hebrew word for strength, and the halem is the Hebrew word for to strike. To strike, okay? Now, it is very important to take note. So what was Jesus trying to communicate when Jesus blessed the loaves? Now you see, Jesus was looking at, was speaking, was telling, look, I'm giving you guys bread. I'm feeding you guys bread. This is the divine provision. This is what God is doing. This provision, it is first the work of grace. But God's intent of provision was to bring you all into a place of consecration where he would consecrate you. But this thing can only be made possible when the order of priesthood has been struck down. It has changed, because when the strength of God changed this priesthood, there is a necessity of the appointment of Jesus occupying and ascending to that position of the higher office of as a priesthood. Are you getting it? Now, Jesus being in that place of priesthood, there will be a necessity of the new creation. In another sense, God who have now conceived us in him is now going to give birth unto us. So even though Jesus was speaking, he said, look, I'm giving you bread, but I'm speaking to you. The order of the priesthood is going to change. I am becoming the high office of priesthood, and I will bring you to the place of the divine promise of God, where the true birth will be made possible. Because everything that you have heard, everything that you have heard, everything that you have walked in, they were in time, they were conceived in God. But he is the figure, he is the picture, he is the essence of birthing. Now you are asking, you are speaking about the bread and the bread, you are not speaking anything about the fish. Now you see, with the fish, when you look at fish in Aramaic Hebrew, the word fish is nun. Now the word nun has a symbol of fish which represents life. Okay, so when Jesus was speaking, he said, look, you guys, you are tired. You guys, I'm feeding you with bread, I'm giving you fish. But the kind of energy and the strength that I'm releasing into you, the kind of life that I'm giving to you, that I'm releasing, the life that I am going to give you is imbibed in me. So look, I'm the true life, but I can only be made possible when you have seen me as the high priest who shall bring the birthing of God, who will qualify us to be consecrated in God. God bless you for your time. Shalom.